I just like how all I did was talk about horror, and then 20 minutes later. Carrie, we're on.
Hi, everybody. Oh, really?
This is riveting.
We talked about snow. Yeah, the snow comic.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a great show scheduled for you as always. And with us, as always, Carrie. How's it going?
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Ratatosker is getting drunk because it's cold as hell here. I've been without internet for 4 days, so I am back on, and I am happy, and I'm excited. We have a great guest on tonight, and let's roll it over to Jar Jar.
Howdy doody, everybody. It's Tuesday evening. Oh, by the way, Leo, wonderful work on our intro. I love it. The way it leads into us, and it's do 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 do. It's very peaceful and Star Warian. Star Warian. Is that a thing? I think I just coined it.
Yeah. I was going more like Superman, the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, thank you, Jar.
Hey, no problem. How's our boy Drew Mollo doing this evening?
I'm fine. Move on, please.
Can't move on. You're our man. You need to introduce our awesome guest tonight.
Okay.
Short straw.
I pulled. What? You know what? Hold on. Hold on.
Holding. Dead air.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Splash Pages. It's Tuesday.
That's what I should be doing. God damn it.
So it's Tuesday, and I've wet my whistle because we have a wonderful guest here. Okay. He's good-humored. He's been shaking his head this entire time at our general insanity. He is a creator who sent us some dope stuff to read. Definitely someone who's watched a couple of horror films. And he's definitely not my guest, but somehow I drew the short straw, even though I don't ever remember us drawing straws. Otherwise, mine would have been better. Everybody, Aaron Wroblewski, please.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Didn't
Aaron.
even say it close to right.
Close enough.
Well, close enough. All right.
Close enough.
Wroblewski.
Every fucking time.
We'll save him from the lashes this week.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, welcome, Aaron. Thank you for joining the show so much. Did you get snowed in as well?
Not so much. It's a little kind of sprinkling. I'm used to it in Scotland, so this is nothing.
Okay.
It's all frozen now, so it's a bit icy conditions. But we just went out to help our aunt out because her heating had gone out, so we had to run over and sort her out. That's why I was a bit late coming in.
What's the
I wish I spoke like you, Aaron.
It's about 12 degrees at the moment.
Ooh. Yeah.
Heading down into the low single figures, I think, tonight.
Wow.
Ish.
No,
I already wish I had Aaron's vernacular. Let's go sort them out. I'm like, oh, let's go sort them out. We don't say that here in America. We're like, yeah, we got to go fix some shit.
Pretty much. Well, no, it's because Carrie has been dealing with a state of emergency. It's funny because every time I say it, I kind of imagine it like Asia's like heat of the moment. I'm like, she's in a state of emergency. Can't go on outside now. State of emergency. It's crazy out there.
She hasn't eaten the cat yet.
One of my fellow guests or hosts over on Owlite here in Nebraska with me, he's living with his mother, and he just got a prosthetic leg over this past year, getting refit for a new one coming in. He lives on a farm, and they had snow waist high up to the front door.
Did he lose his leg in the snow?
In their house.
Did he lose his leg in the snow? Because that was my first question, and then I was like, "Is that in bad taste? Can you lose your leg like that?"
No, but I'm
imagine that you're like running and like your leg just disconnects and it's gone in the snow. Those are expensive.
Well, you'd be running and then you'd be hopping.
Pop hit. Then that just gets some Monty Python popping mad joke, and that just no.
Oh boy. So Aaron, you're here to talk about comic books that you've
Yes.
written.
Yeah.
Like you're like something we all strive to want to be one day. You're in comic books. Like you've actually produced quite a few at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Three different series.
Jeez.
So I'm very, very, very grateful for Kickstarter backers. I wouldn't be here without them. I know I would.
Yeah.
Because I have bills to pay myself. I work full time.
Well, that's one of my first questions. Why do you use Kickstarter instead of I know you guys are published through Red 5 Comics, right?
Yes, yeah. Blood and Fire is, yeah.
Yeah.
And its
Okay.
sequel, Ice and Bone, will be as well. They're very interested in it, so fingers crossed.
Why not any of the other not fundraising? What are they called? It's
Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding. Why not
Yeah.
one of the other crowdfunding?
I kind of just fell into Kickstarter. I can't actually remember why I chose it, but like all my fan base is through Kickstarter. Going through ENENRA, which was my first series. So I kind of just started with that, got the ball rolling, and then I kind of moved across to Blood and Fire, because originally it was only supposed to be the 3 issues, which are finished.
Mhm.
But then I kind of started thinking about other things which I wanted to include into it, but could never have the reason to. And then the story kind of evolved into Ice and Bone, which is the kind of sequel successor to it.
Right.
But yeah, Kickstarter is a very fickety beast. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's like getting blood out of a stone. But I've been very thankful. The first Blood and Fire issue didn't fund, so I went back, redid it all, revamped it, and then the first, the next 3 and the third one was a massive success.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been amazing.
And now you're going on to do damn, I'm lost my notes.
What, the Gray Man?
Ice and Bone.
Yeah, the Gray Man.
Yeah, the Gray Man's done. That the first Kickstarter was successful. Hernan, the artist, he's currently doing like deadlines for other things at the moment. So once he's finished with that, he says end of this week he should be going back onto pages for this.
Nice.
So
like we only got to read a snidbit of this, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, God damn it, I need more.
You got him hooked.
Yeah, there's a lot more to come.
I'm not normally a horror comic person either, and like
he really isn't.
Grabbed me right away.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, Ryan, when you're doing your writing, are you listening to music? Because each one I had to listen to something different, because I just could, and it was all instrumental, because I felt like yours had this like very like cinematic kind of feel to it, so it's like I had to put on like, I had to like research my favorite kung fu movies. I was like, what's the score for that? Reading Blood and Fire, and then this, I'm not gonna lie, I just put on the Exorcist theme, because I was just like, this is some Night of Living Dead meets Exorcist shit. And then the same thing for I was at ENENRA. You're right. I had the Strain soundtrack on, because that's what it kept reminding me of. I was like, Contagion on a plane. I'm fairly certain this is vampires. So I'm like,
when that came out, I was so gutted, because it was literally my start. It's like, you bastards. I had this written out. I've pretty much got the whole storyline written out from start to finish. I'm like 3/4 the way through the 3rd volume,
right?
Issue wise. But I couldn't change it because it follows the flight. It follows the flight.
Right.
No, there's no vampires in it. All zombies.
Damn it! Wrong genre.
So yeah, it's probably as close. It's closer to The Last of Us.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, I was getting
than the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more The Last of Us than the other ones, but yeah, there's a lot to come. I'm really stoked. It's the same artist who does Blood and Fire and Ice and Bone. He's
Yeah,
doing
great.
this, so I'm keeping him busy. He's very happy.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
art is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like
it-
that's what I grabbed onto first with the Blood and Fire.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. His artwork is amazing. I mean,
and
I'd write a little spiel, a paragraph, and then he just brings out that. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. He
And-
uses the shadows really well. It kind of has like a Mike Mignola Hellboy kind of use, where the shadows are as much part of the panel as anything in the light. So it's like it plays a role, but it shows you just enough. But it's just got this nice, like on the plane, it had like a Twilight Zone Hitchcockian kind of feel to it. You know, you had that suspense. And
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, man, this would be really well adapted into like something. You know, it's very well paced. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
just
started
don't
out
get
as
it.
a TV series.
Oh, okay.
I wrote the first issue as the pilot for a TV series because I was actually on a with an agency
Oh.
and they were trying to shop it around. It just never caught any traction because I'm a nobody who gives a crap.
Right.
And one of the actual agents said this would make a kick-ass graphic novel. That's kind of got me started. And Ezekiel, the artist, he was on their books doing other things. So I kind of pitched it to him. Would he be interested in doing it? I mean, he kind of jumped at it.
Mhm.
And the first issue took so long to draw because he was going off the script. It wasn't made. It wasn't an actual comic script. It was a TV script. So it took ages to get finished.
Mhm.
And so I went back and redid the second and third and fourth as an actual comic script. So it's a lot more streamlined.
I love in ENENRA how it jumps back and forth. And you and I have talked before about some of this, but time-wise and stuff, the story, it's kind of like two separate tales, one of what's going on now and one of how it got to that point.
Yeah. The first 8 pages is like a time jump to the future. So it's post-apocalyptic setting where you follow the survivor and his trusted little companion, and then the main body of the story is like how we get there, which I always kind of really liked to see. The collapse of society slowly but surely as things progress. Like the second volume is set in Hong Kong, and you kind of see that people, the politics and politicians are corrupt, and they're using the virus as an excuse to arrest people on the pretense that they're infected. So the virus has basically found the perfect place to spread because no one's really paying too much attention to it, rather than political maneuvers and getting them more power and getting rid of their rivals. And it's only until the spread is so big and uncontrollable that they actually take notice, and by then it's too late.
Of course.
So yeah, that's kind of the volume 2, where then leads to volume 3, which then you kind of get a bit more information, and I reveal the source.
I could so see this as a TV series. Like this would be
Yeah.
awesome. Like especially with the jump back and forth and really like doing it in present time, having the whole political conflicts go on. It matches up to what society is today. Like I think that's why it was so like sucks you in so quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
and also to kind of piggyback off that, it felt very realistic, because sometimes when you're reading things like this, it's just like, oh my god, this has been done. Like, to me, I was like, and it's for me, especially when sometimes in politics, it's like watching Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh my god, just get to the fight. Who gives a shit about the squabbling?
I want to see Godzilla already.
Exactly. But this, everything was the way you wrote it, everything was very poignant. All, like, you get this idea that nothing is wasted. Every character plays a part in it's like you essentially, like when you were writing it, I felt like every character was a domino, and at the end you just watch how everything affects the downfall that, like you said in the beginning, we see what caused it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 'cause I wanted it to be something different because it actually took the longest time to think of what it is and why.
mhm.
They took forever to work out. But then once it did, everything else seemed to click together, which
Yeah.
seems to be working if everyone's enjoying the read. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
my God.
And it's visually just amazing. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
he's amazing.
Ezekiel,
I cannot fault him at all.
Yeah. Like,
I'd keep him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping him. That's why I'm.
Where'd you meet him? Is this like online
through the
meetup?
no, through the agency. Like I said, when
Oh,
I was with
oh,
them
wow.
to do the TV series, he was on their books.
wow,
Oh,
what a hidden
kinda-
gem.
Yeah, it was pure chance.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
think they
You
call
should
that a
write them
happy
back, like,
accident.
thanks for saying
Very
no.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have 10th of his talent, I'd be happy. I have none of his talent, so
Oh
Probably
yeah.
a stick figure.
yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
part.
Oh, yeah.
That is gruesome, and yet like you can't turn away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's so
So is comics kind of like your medium you normally write in, or you said this started off as a TV pilot?
Yeah, I started out with writing novels and TV scripts, film scripts. Actually, I actually wrote 2 films, which rule of thumb, you have like a page a minute
right.
on average. The first one I wrote was 264 pages,
Oh wow.
long film. So I kind of decided to no one's gonna make that. It's gonna be crazy. So I kind of started making it into a natural novel. So I've completed that. It's just collecting dust on my laptop. It's just having the funds to get it edited, made into a novel. It's just kind of that's set. I've done a dark fantasy where like a village is surrounded by fog, and there's creatures in there. And basically the way they travel to different villages is like over the fog during like pulley systems and towers.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like a dark fantasy of like when the fog starts encroaching into the village. They find out why, and kind of leads on to I've got ideas for like 5 books of that.
Okay.
So I kind of dabble between that, science fiction, horror novels, kind of Event Horizon, Aliens kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Cool.
But yeah, at the moment, the comics is really kind of kicking off because writing a novel takes so long,
It does.
and then, like I said, having the money to get it edited, getting a cover, and like published, it takes a lot. So once I'm actually got a fair few comics out there, and hopefully bringing in a little bit of cash, I can use that then to start doing the novels. That's fingers crossed. That's the idea.
So
And
what's bringing in the cash now? What do you do as a regular human being?
I used to measure detailed measurements with lasers and mechanical arms. I now actually work for the company who builds them.
Oh, good
So
for you, man.
I work from home, like 50% at home, 50% traveling to customers. So I do application engineer. So I help customers with the software side of it. So it's very detailed measurements down to like 3/10 of like 3 thou of an inch, which is like smaller than your hair. So it sounds more complicated than it is. Because I am not smart. So yeah, it's the software that does it. I kind of help customers, like I said, do demos with laser trackers and portable measuring equipment.
Very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I've been purchasing you on Kindle. I got the ENENRA off of Amazon. Where can we look forward to purchasing books in the future, like physical copies outside of the Kickstarters?
They do the because it's ENENRA is published through Marcosia in the UK.
Okay.
They do the digital individual issues, and then once the 4 issues are done, they combine it into the physical edition. So if you're wanting
Okay.
individual copies, then it has to go through the Kickstarter because I print them off, obviously. But mine are bigger as well. So if you're wanting the combined book from me, I print it off 8 by 10.5. So it's slightly bigger than your normal issue that you get from Amazon. Because I think that's what 6 by something. Can't remember what it is, the top of my head. So it's slightly bigger. It's just something to kind of give back to the backers, for giving us their hard-earned cash. So I actually think it looks a lot better in the bigger print. Get more for your buck.
I'm going to be getting one of on the last Kickstarter that you did. I ordered for Greyman. I ordered the 3 first issues. I turned that off.
Okay, cool.
But
it's time for the show.
It's time.
I keep turning off my alarms and they keep coming back on. They're like, no, really, you need to know. She's probably still sleeping. But I'm excited about this new upcoming Kickstarter because, well, not only is it going to be a great book, but you're doing samurai swords as one of your add-ons. And it's so
yeah,
cool.
I saw that little samurai sword keychains.
That's awesome.
Oh, they're already made too. Look at this.
Yeah, well, some are. See, this is the how big it is.
Oh, that's even bigger than I thought it was. All right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's about 6 inches, give or take.
That's all she says.
Yeah, hey, it's not the size, it's how you use it.
Swing.
So you probably see it better on there.
That's awesome. Look at the detail.
Now, so the question does unsheath.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Oh my God, Red
doesn't
Oscar
want a
needs
sword.
those so bad.
Yeah,
you gotta stop arming that squirrel. You give it lightsabers, now it's
now he needs samurai swords.
Okay, so Kari, let me just get this straight. So you made a squirrel Sith, and now you're making a nutso samurai. What I mean, what do you want us to start like accessorizing your hand puppet?
What's that?
Yes.
What the hell?
Is that a bond? What?
Yo,
oh, that's a little samurai dude.
That's what I just painted.
That's
literally,
amazing.
You can see my painting station right next to me. I literally finished it like an hour ago.
Wow, that is cool, man.
So it comes off. It's not glued to it yet.
Oh yeah, but still.
Is that a 3D print?
So that's me painted it. So I'm thinking about actually offering it fully painted. So
wow, Kari, get on it.
Oh, I'm all over it.
Yeah, Kari, write more stories. You save the money.
You guys go on his Kickstarters if you want to get those. Order one physical thing and you can get the add-ons. Usually, I'm right there, right?
Yes, yeah, that will be add-ons.
Has the Kickstarter started?
No, it starts February 27th.
Oh, okay.
There's time, Jar.
I was like, oh shit, I'm already late.
Purely coincidental that it's the same day as Shogun on FX.
Yeah,
it was purely coincidental.
Yeah, and Aaron, Kari is our Kickstarter queen. So normally, if someone is, I was like, she's like, ooh, invest, and I'm just like, you are the greatest fan who has ever lived in the genre. So if she's buying you, you're good, man. She's gonna support. So, and when she gets the product, she's gonna take photos and show it off. Like, oh my God, you should follow this thing. So,
yeah,
good investment there.
Have you always been into samurai kind of shows and movies and stuff?
Oh yes, yeah, especially anime. I love anime.
No kidding.
Afro Samurai.
Yeah,
it were pretty much anything samurai really. I have only just started the Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix.
Okay.
Because I've been watching Last of Us because we had Max over Christmas because it was cheap. It was like $1 for a month or something. So
Hey,
I had to binge watch Last of Us. I've been wanting to watch that, so I finished it. So now I can concentrate on the Blue-Eyed Samurai. So I've digging the first episode. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
gotta watch Rurouni Kenshin. That's
What was
but with the movies as well. You got to do the is it
okay.
OAV, whatever they are, but it's Samurai X, and it's so
Okay,
beautiful.
yeah, I've watched that.
Yeah, during the Meiji
Yeah.
era. I
Yeah.
love that. I own it. It's
Uh,
one of those ones where I could watch it every year and just like,
Now,
One of the it was one of the very first anime films I watched as a kid was Ninja Scroll.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
cool.
Even
Great
now, it still
movie.
kicks ass.
It's a great
Yeah,
introduction.
I'm sorry. We all need to acknowledge one of the greatest anime samurais. Okay, his name is Jack. Okay.
Yeah, Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Okay, so I'm just sorry. That like the whole time reading this, like I'm sorry. Every time one of your samurais, I'm sorry, my brain was like, "Watcha!" Just because that's where I go when I hear samurai. I'm just thinking, "Jump good," you know.
Ninja
my
Scroll's
mind
pretty
went
much.
totally.
Oh, go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, my mind went totally different. The whole read, I absolutely loved it, but I kept on hearing like the sounds from Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it like playing in that. Have you played it, Aaron?
I haven't. No, I've seen it on like YouTube and stuff, like trailers for it, but I've not played it.
The most friggin' beautiful game you would ever play, but it's like an open world samurai game. That's just friggin' amazing. It's so realistic. The whole world that you're in,
You get
the
cut.
nature around you. Oh yeah, and the sword play is just amazing. I absolutely highly recommend you play it. But I played that game for way too much, and then reading your comic, just like I felt like I was back in that world. Like it's very cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
That's awesome.
Aren't they doing a film of that? Isn't John Wick director doing it?
Yeah, I believe they are doing a Ghost of Tsushima
Yeah.
film.
That'd be cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Leo, how do you? I swear to God, man. I think that when you sleep, you put on like a little helmet and a shell of your consciousness works while you're napping.
Oh
How
yeah,
do you have time to do these things? You work like us. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's more quality over quantity. It's I don't play too many games, but when I do, I make sure it's the good ones, and
Oh,
it's a lot of staying up late at night too. So
Aaron, what you don't realize is Leo works like full time plus, and he watches like 14 shows a week, and he gets all his comic reading done.
and he's on every show
He's
on our
and
fucking
he's
network.
on multiple shows.
Yeah, he is like
And
the
he's
Stan
producing
Lee.
stuff.
He is the
What
Stan Lee
you
of
don't
our network.
realize, what you don't realize is actually sleeping now.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Aaron, you figured me out.
And if you ever
it's a
have snake
hologram Leo.
Yeah.
oh, man, he'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, it's a Haleo right there. That's what that is.
Haleo.
Hologram Leo.
Yeah.
Just.
It's not actually glasses; they're actually just screens of eyes.
Oh yeah. How does our guest know these things and I don't?
We sent a memo, Drew. We sent a memo.
Okay, don't make me get the
Check the
pencil.
spam folder sometimes. Oh,
So,
Drew isn't here, so get out.
oh, we already asked that. Got to mark off my questions as we go. Oh, hey, you must be reading a lot yourself, right? So, are you reading anything today, like book or comic book wise?
But books have been. Was it the Iron Flame with the Fourth Wing little mini series they're doing? Awesome. If you haven't read it, because I drive a lot for work, I get audiobooks and stuff and just like listen to it on the drive. Fourth Wing and its sequel, Iron Flame, brilliant.
Right.
Dragons, sex,
Oh, there we go.
sex. It's great.
Whoa! Did not see that coming. Pun intended. How you doing? What's going on there?
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's very cool.
Have you shown your work to other creators, like people in the industry, and did they give feedback? Because I know Because I know of situations where independent creators had like friends in the industry who sometimes big names, and they would give, input and whatnot, which could be very helpful. Have you done something like that with your projects? Like, oh, I have this. You go to a con, you meet a creator, it's like, oh, I have this book, and like, oh wow, this is really nice. You're like, I thought it was nice.
I mean, it is on my bucket list to do a con. I thought about doing one this year.
You haven't done
but
cons?
I haven't. No, I've not
Oh
had
my
enough.
God, you're
I've not had
missing
enough.
out.
I've never done one before. So this year I am going to Nashville because it's my son's birthday on the
Nice.
June 1st. So
Mhm.
I'm going there just to kind of check it out, and then hopefully next year I'm going to have a table with all my merch.
Nice.
Oh, you're
And
missing out, man. I'm telling
yeah,
you, you could be selling millions of these books.
well,
Just
that's what I'm hoping
the
because
samurai
COVID
aspect.
hit. Yeah, well, COVID hit, so it kind of put a
Can't go
kind of
then.
hold on everything.
It's just a part in comics that's not really being a genre in comics that's not really being done right now. Oh, you're doing yourself a disservice not being at the cons.
Jar,
You,
he's
you
working on it, man. Stop peer
I'm just
pressuring
I
him
got
to
gonna
get
it.
yell at
cons.
him a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
The
you'll be able to
Jansen
get
gear.
to get this baby. Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, I'm telling you, it'd be awesome.
Yes.
People love that
Was it a
stuff.
3D
And
print?
plus,
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
3D
and plus,
printed.
you seem to sell yourself well.
So it's
Like,
my favorite. I did another one which was fully painted, but I actually prefer this because it actually looks really cool.
Yeah, it does, man. That
Yeah.
does look really cool.
Now, did you print that yourself, or you had somebody print it for you?
No, I got someone else to print it for me.
Okay.
So yeah, the shipped it, and then I started painting because I had some leftover paint, so that's why I started doing the extra the stands. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Came out surprisingly nice. I
Yeah,
was very
no,
glad.
it looks. I mean, I feel like 3D printers are like the same rule you used to be when you were in high school. Either you had a car or you knew someone who did, and you had money. That's how 3D
Yeah.
printers are now for adult nerds. Like either you know somebody or you found a really great deal for a 3D printer and you were like, "Fuck it, I'm in."
Yeah, yeah.
And I speak from experience.
Actually, they've come down in price, but there's
I know. I'm looking at mine right now.
I found somebody that started printing Star Wars figures, like
no
the
kidding.
old like 70s version. Like somebody made models that you can actually print it like a fully functional, just
So
like you were back in the 70s.
Did you just slide into the DMs like, "Hi, my name's Leo. I'm a fan. Can you do this?"
God,
Star
can you
Wars
imagine if
figure?
Balthazar got a hold of one of those? He could just get
Oh,
me go
all the doom.
crazy.
So Aaron, I have to ask because your stuff has a like some of your stuff is a very horror-esque feel, which I'm sure is deliberate. Are you yourself or a horror fan, or is it just that's how your brain works? So if you are, what are some of the faves? Like, if you had to say.
Straight away, Alien, Event Horizon.
Yeah, we got it, Leo.
Again,
Let's look.
There is actually one. I can't remember what it's called. There was a Korean horror film on Amazon, which is like low budget but really cool. It's something Asylum.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. It begins with a G, I think, but it was really good. It's one of those go into a haunted asylum, with the cameras to kind of check it out for ratings and stuff, and they all fucking die. But it was pretty good. It was well done. I have to admit, it was really cool. But yeah, I love horror films. I actually like watching indie horror games that YouTubers do, like Fooster. I watch him religiously, and they play horror games and I watch them on YouTube, and it's because it's like 20 minutes, half an hour, so it's perfect for lunch. While I'm eating lunch, I'll watch them play it. But yeah, I'm really into horror films and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool. So I'm really hoping the new Alien stuff they're doing this year will revitalize the franchise because Prometheus and Covenant sucked.
Ah,
Yeah.
lame.
Good luck
Yeah.
to you, sir. Good luck.
Well, Prey was pretty damn
Prey
good.
was great.
It's amazing. So
No.
I'm hoping.
I just want more prequel, like horror sci-fi stuff. I think someone had this great idea for it was a Ronin chasing after a predator that killed its master,
Yeah.
and it was and they had cast the guy to be the Ronin, and it was John Wick's friend from, I think it was the second John Wick, the one who owned the hotel in Japan. You guys know what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just, yeah, you know what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is so great. Can we please do this? Like,
Yeah, it would be immense. Just keep it simple.
right.
You know, you don't need the massive storylines to be a kick-ass film. Look at John Wick. It's not hard to do a decent film.
No, but I think the problem being is that people people now are so focused on building a universe. That's what there's always about. They want to have that multiverse, big legacy, multiple spin-off thing. But a lot of the classic horror movies, and I know Miss Sanders over there can probably stout her own stuff there. Leo and Jeremy try and avoid the horror, but we keep dragging them to that. Leo himself has lived a horror life, so he tries to avoid that. He's on the piece.
Yeah.
Jeremy is just tall, so he looks like a Slender Man, but with ginger hair. So you know, it is what it is. But he's got moves though, so you don't expect it. Yeah. Keep sipping that coffee, Slender Ginger Man.
It's almost gone.
But I think what it is, it's just that, and it's just simple. It's the best stories were always simple, that then got a little extravagant, and then was like back. But then they're like, oh no, that worked. But we're gonna say it's like Predator. The jungle was good. Let's go to Los Angeles. And
it's another jungle.
This is another jungle, right? And then because that didn't do well, okay, we're gonna. It's just like that pitch meeting from Key and Peele. You just imagine people sitting around there. I'm like, okay, so what do we do now? We're gonna throw darts with our ideas, and whoever sticks to the wall, that's where we're gonna go. All right, bunch of mercs on planet being hunted by predator. All right, we got a next movie. Let's go. Let's do this. Like,
I mean, the Predators film, like Lawrence Fishburne's character,
perfect.
Why?
just because. Why not? I think sometimes in horror and science fiction, you just have to say fuck it.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, because then when you least expect, you get something like Event Horizon, which you don't expect it, and it is not appreciated at that time. But years later, you're like, this was so good. Why did you hate it?
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
I mean, it's like Dread. I know it's not a horror film, but it got canned in the box office. But everyone now loves it. The only reason why it didn't do so well is because everyone kind of remembered the Stallone movie.
I am the law.
Yeah.
I am the law.
It was so, it had such potential because the director or the writer had 2 sequels, which they were going to bring the death judges.
Right. And if you talk to Carl Urban was like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Like, it's the same thing with Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. He doesn't care that he almost broke himself. But it was like, if you got a script, let's go. And I'm just like, yes. But Hollywood is like, I feel like we want to focus on Marvel. That's our moneymaker right now. So we're going to put you on the back burner for about 10 years. And when enough nostalgia's built, then we'll bring you back. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. See you later, Bubba. I got lunch.
And then, like Harrison Ford, they'll bring him back for a reunion, and look how good that was.
There's been a couple of them that they're getting elderly and they're reprising every single one of their roles in some way, shape, or form recently. Harrison Ford did that.
He's not reprising a role, but is it Kurt Douglas who's doing Monarch?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
That was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, Monarch is.
Isn't that the
freaking
best?
It's
Um,
insane.
I'm just like I didn't expect to see Godzilla on the small screen, and there he is, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
I
And
just wish they'd be able to do that on the big screen.
Mm.
right.
Because the last film it didn't suck, but the
Oh, wait until this
the
film that's coming out
characters,
with Kong.
Are you talking
Yeah,
about Kong versus Godzilla?
yeah. I mean, they're just the main like characters of like they just if you take them out completely, the film would be better because they serve no
Yeah.
reason at all.
No, listen, it's the
They're just
same.
annoying.
No, Aaron, it's the same. It's the same thing I've always said about Transformers. Take out the humans, and the movie is great.
Yeah.
You know.
But you need
But
work in there.
what happened? No, get up, Leo. Stop. Okay.
All they have to do is make the animated TV film in
Yeah.
real live action.
Exactly.
Brilliant. With the soundtrack.
Absolutely. But I think what it really comes down to is that I think everything is starting to get burned out. So, especially in terms of nostalgia, because, we're going to go back to these things people love and whatnot. And a lot of it's hit or miss. We saw that with Star Wars. We saw that with Jurassic Park. It was, in my mind, somewhat successful with Ghostbusters. And hopefully with Frozen Empire coming out, we'll see that. But even Alien, Predator, you know what I mean? They're they're trying to show new stories, but still kind of play it safe. It's how can we move the story forward 3 steps, but still keep the fans happy? And it's just like, tell a good fucking story.
Yeah.
Then the money will roll in.
I just hate all these prequels they're doing. Why prequels? You know how it's going. Set stuff after.
Well, there's a lot where you're just like, I don't care what's going to happen. Well, I already know what's going to happen to these people because I've seen the movies that come after this.
I think what it is that it's about prequels in terms that make sense. And I think there's 2 movies that kind of go with that well. The one that doesn't make any sense would be the Thing prequel back in 2011. It made no sense because these people are going to die. So how do we give a fuck how they died? They're dead. Okay? But then you have something like -1 with Godzilla, which was beautiful and perfect. And it is a prequel in a sense of this is how Godzilla, Rampage, original Godzilla, but it's beautiful because it's well done. It's kept, it knows its audience, it does it well, everything is fantastic. And that, I think the problem being is though, every time you get that one success, you're going to get copycats, you're going to get the imitators, and it's going to run the mill to the ground. Yeah. So that's the problem, like best example, you're a horror fan. So we can essentially assume Halloween is the grandfather for the horror genre because look at how much of essentially what it helped create. But yet by now everything is overdone. Like you can't even play that theme on a piano and someone's like, I know that. That's from that movie with Rob Zombie, and like, get out.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie.
Oh wait, I was thinking actually what?
No, Carrie, it's okay.
No, you say like the horror grandfather. I'm just like Exorcist.
John Carpenter.
And this is
I didn't think Exorcist was very scary.
Okay. Well,
Exorcist?
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I read it when I was like 8 years old or so, and then
I can't do it.
I'm a big fan of William Peter Blatty, so Exorcist 3 is actually my favorite out of the.
We know.
Okay. Sorry, but
what was that? The film with the ball and the spikes that come out of it. Is it Phantoms? Phantasm?
Phantasm?
Phantasm. Phantasm.
That was a good film.
That was a creepy dude.
That's bringing it back.
Yeah. No, I and it's also funny because when you're talking about horror and you meet horror actors, a lot of them are really pleasant. They're fun.
Horror fans.
Yeah.
Too. It's very. Some can be crazy, but like you go to a horror con, they're some of the more pleasant cons I've ever been to.
Agreed. And I think the thing I always like is that you'll see the constant, you'll see the popular ones, your Jasons, your Freddys, your Ghost Faces, you'll come across a Jigsaw every once in a while, which, trust me, play Monopoly with that guy. Let me tell you, let's play a game. I was like, okay, go away, Billy. But I think the thing I like with when you go to horror cons is you get the obscure ones. You see that you've never seen that before, and you're like, yes, you look fantastic. And they're like, oh, thanks, man. That's so great for you to say. Yeah.
That is something to keep in mind when you're talking about upcoming cons, is that at a Comic Con, and I've only been to the one. This is based on everything that I've heard from people. I got to meet all these guys at Terrificon,
Hey.
which is in Connecticut. So yeah, that's
America's most
fucking
terrific
fun.
con.
It's kind of by you, as far as
One day we'll get
it's closer to you
sponsored.
than it is me in Nebraska. But at a lot of comic book cons, there's it's everything comic book, and then there's kind of like the horror people are over here because that's their little genre. But at the horror cons, everybody's everywhere, and it's not like, okay, and then we're gonna stick the comic book artists over in this little lonely spot here. It's kind of like everything's accepted everywhere, and not that Terrificon was by all excluding anyone. I don't want to.
Oh no.
Make it sound like
Carrie,
I do that, but they're much more inclusive at a regular horror con.
Well, yeah, at Comic Con, they're more looking for Artist Alley, is where they store all your comic people, and then over here has like all the vendor kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got Celebrity Row, and everything's all segmented. Media, and then actual comic books, and then like all the vendors.
Yeah. But the thing that's really tough is when you have your own table is you have to stay at the table. You know what I mean? So so my recommendation, if you do that, make sure you bring family, a partner, a friend, because you need a spotter. Because when you want to wander and be social, stay. sell merch, stay.
I'll have to probably talk my son into it, give him like 50% of sales or something.
Something like that. But honestly, go horror. Like your stuff is definitely like Comic Cons are good, but I think you would do especially well at horror cons because those are the fun weirdos.
Yeah,
well,
like I said, I've never done one before, so that's why I want to go this year, do some research, take some photos, and kind of see how it's set up, what I need to get.
Print out a ton of business cards because you're gonna want to network the hell out of it. Anytime we're at a con, Leo like, oh yeah, I printed like 600. I was like, challenge accepted. We're just out. It's like, oh yes, hi, we're with the Dorkening, SplashPages, Dorkening. Oh, have you heard us? Oh, you already got a card. We'll have another one. You could lose that one.
Yeah.
Why
have one when you can have 6?
Exactly.
Candy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We do give free candy, and
that's a trick I learned. Definitely bring go to like if you have like a Costco or BJ's or something like that, buy a crap ton of candy, and then just keep like a bowl full the entire weekend.
Okay.
Kids will drag their parents over and automatically start talking to the
don't
parents.
be dressed up like a clown when giving out the candy because it sets a bad precedent. That's important, and other thing we learned this the hard way: no red balloons. That's really important.
Okay.
You can't also let them float along, the hall because that just also creeps a lot of people out.
Be prepared for the kid that's going to take 30 pieces of candy on his own and then come back for seconds, like 5 minutes later after he hands them off.
I love those kids, so I encourage them. I'm like, take more.
Or
you must be very popular at Halloween.
I'll get some of the Harry Potter candy that like tastes like
earwax
and stuff.
There you go.
Earwax, nice.
Yeah.
Chewy.
So back again. Not that I have not enjoyed this detour into horror. You're welcome, everyone. But back to the comics. So, being that a lot of your stuff is Kickstarter funded. You're not the first person we've talked to who's done work there. What do you feel are like the pros and cons of doing that? And for anyone watching the show tonight, all 6 people. If any of them actually want, to pursue that, what are some tips or recommendations you would make to those?
Tips. Okay, first off is look at however many you can find, which will probably be thousands, hundreds. But
Mhm.
whatever genre you're writing,
Mhm.
look at the campaigns. What's been successful, what hasn't been successful.
Right.
Back, because I've noticed people back more if you've actually backed people as well. So,
Okay.
but that's a good way of actually finding fellow creators. Like I'm on Facebook groups with dozens of different creators. We help each other out. Like a lot of we cross promote. So with my Ice and Bone, there'll be like free giveaways. So like say for 75 to 100 backers, you'll get these comics. For 150 backers, you'll get these comics. So they'll, for my campaign, I'll get the free comics for backers, but it also gives them more fan base potential. So if you read their comic from my Kickstarter, you'll be like, oh, I like that. They've just done issue 3. Oh, I'll do a catch up and get
Mhm.
get more.
I've always wondered why like more indie creators haven't like come together and like been like, hey, yo, we'll throw like 800 of our PDFs on this dude's Kickstarter, and that way everybody gets more.
Yeah.
Doing the PDFs and stuff.
So yeah, that's what I do. Quite a few of us actually do that as well. We have like a database with all our kind of
That's cool.
so everyone can swap
It's
and
like a
change.
union.
Yeah, without all the stress. But that's the bad side of Kickstarter. It is very stressful. You're
Yeah.
constantly refreshing, constantly trying to go on shows, get the word out for your
Mhm.
Kickstarter, your comic. It's probably one of the stressful things I've done and continue doing. But then I wouldn't be here without it. It's a kind of
Right.
double-edged sword. You have to take the rough with the smooth. I wouldn't be a author without it. Plain and simple.
And then I think it was you that I was talking about on the clutch the one time, where every now and then people will just withdraw their pledge. And so you're
Yep.
sitting here
Oh,
like getting
really?
towards the
Yeah.
end, and
I
somebody's
didn't know
Yeah.
pledged
that.
$100, and then all of a sudden they're just like, "Oh, that's gone. You have to wait
Yeah.
more
You
hour,
get. Yeah.
this many hours
Unfortunately,
before
it's
it
the
gets filled up."
nature of the beast. You do get some trolls who
That's something.
will, and it's worse because they'll say you've got like a high end tiers. Because with Ice and Bone, I'm introducing one of my favorite tiers is that you can be in the comic.
Ah, yes.
Sweet.
So I have mercenaries in this, so they're from all over the world. So I'm opening it up to everybody. You can be in the comic as a mercenary, and you get a print of your character signed by myself and the artist.
Sweet.
It'll be digitally signed. So from the artist because he is in Spain. I am not paying to be sent over there for him to sign it to then send it over here. Sorry.
Fine.
Rather
But when you have these trolls, they'll go onto these book, pay for that high tier, and then when it comes to getting the money, it'll be pending, 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 error, dropped.
Oh,
But then somebody could potentially miss out on
yeah.
backing it, which I always think Kickstarter should take the money when you back it,
Absolutely.
not at the end. But it's the way Kickstarter's done it, so they're not going to change it anytime soon. But yeah, it's one of those nature of the beast, like the Grey Man. I lost quite a bit on that at the back end. So, but it funded. I'm trying to. Ian and Hernan, the artist, is very good. He's says you kind of help us out getting it made, and then when the second one and third one comes, we'll kind of hopefully recoup what we lost for the first one, and kind of keep the momentum going.
Mm.
So, but yeah, that's one big thing. When you do a Kickstarter and you set your fund, Kickstarter takes 5%. So you have to obviously put that into your budget, and then obviously I would say a percentage will be dropped It always
Yeah.
happens. I've not had one Kickstarter that hasn't had errored payment. It's like
That
dropped payments. So
that really
it
bites your ass.
it
Yeah.
does. Yes.
And
People, come on. It's not like you're doing it to people that have the money to fuck around with it. You're doing it to indie guys.
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah, they had a publisher that was running all this. Like, if it was Marvel, they wouldn't need a Kickstarter.
No.
But
No. No.
yeah,
But
one of the other
I've heard
things
I've heard horror stories that someone dropped $5,000 onto their account, onto their Kickstarter. I'm like,
oh no.
what?
so they hit every stretch goal and had to fulfill it.
Yeah,
And
but I
then
think they actually went to Kickstarter and flagged it and said, take it off because
Mm,
it's no way, no one is going to put
yeah,
$5,000 on a Kickstarter unless they're insane or rich and insane. So
probably both would have to
yeah,
be in the
yeah. So
the
Kickstarter
equation.
was pretty quick. I think it was off and the account was suspended within I think a couple of days. So it's
Oh,
yeah.
okay
I have
then.
a question
Yeah.
for you about, as long as we are still on the topic of the Kickstarter.
Yep.
I've noticed that it. Pardon me, just a second. I
You
don't want you to
okay,
have to all
Karen?
hear me cough. Yeah, just it's been below zero here for a week. I got a bit of a cough.
Okay.
But when it comes to fulfilling the tiers, because you can only pledge one tier, and I've seen like a number of different where it's like you can only get they don't put this item into an add-on, or you can only get this add-on if you pledge a certain tier. How hard is that for you to work around to do things? So I mean,
Very
does
difficult.
Kickstarter make it very hard for you to be able, like, you can't just be like everything can be an add-on, you can buy whatever you want and then add on whatever you can't? Or is it
Yeah,
like
I mean, I try and keep it as simple as I can, but then I put on, I have like the prints, that one there. You can buy them, and I've actually
there's some
made it so you can buy the little metal trading cards as well.
Oh, metal trading cards.
Yeah.
Neat.
So there is so many add-ons now on this. This isn't even on an add-on yet. I mean, I didn't even think this was going to work. So this was the prototype and it worked. So I'll be putting it on there. So yeah, though there's all different. I think I've got like 20 tiers on the Kickstarter. I'd say a good 95% of it will be on an add-on as well. So you can get metal covers for the novels as well, all of them, all the all the variant covers. So you can get all those. So yeah,
Writing this down, Leo.
yeah,
All the variant covers.
all the variant covers will be available. And for $5 extra, I will sign everything.
Oh wow.
You can get a PDF of the script for Blood and Fire 1.
that is awesome.
That is for $3. So I have probably more add-ons on this coming Kickstarter than I've ever had.
It's
That's-
exciting that you let that open up because it's hard to nail down exactly which tier you want to pledge to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fit everything on the campaign page because the campaign page would be a mile long. Because everyone's different. I could have a pledge and with that picture there, and then someone might not like it. And I've got like 13 different images for print for like a collector print. So that's 13 different chapter ones.
Yeah.
Potentially 13 different chapter. It'd be insane. So yeah, I try and keep the campaign page as streamlined as I can, and then all the add-ons will be available. But if there's anything that you want or have it included as an add-on, just message me and I'll add it.
Yeah,
Look at that.
did
You
get
got
some
an in
prints
now,
on my
Karen.
last one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I tried to figure it out. It took me a while because there's been multiple campaigns where I realized that you can't get specific add-ons unless you order a physical copy of something from
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
'Cause I was getting, like,
yeah, that
because I
comes
was
up
getting,
in your
and it's
options.
not just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you can't buy the chapter 1 digital and then ask for like 6 prints because
yeah. So
that wouldn't work, because then I'd have to post it out, print them off. But yeah,
okay,
but then I could
that
put that with
makes
the book. So when you buy the physical copy of chapter 1, I can put the prints in with the book and send it with it.
okay. That makes a lot more sense because I was just
Yeah.
always like, why can't I just get this in some paper? Oh,
Yeah.
because the way the postage works. And okay, so
Yeah,
Do you
postage is
mail
always going
everything?
up.
Do you mail everything out yourself?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm a one-man band.
How long does it take you usually to do all the fulfillment?
As you
Oh,
can
look at
tell.
this.
holy cow.
Hey,
That went
listen,
my head
man,
really quick.
so 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 Ryan, so we're coming up on an hour, which is normally the amount of time that we usually have for a guest. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We really do appreciate it. And again, we all loved what we read of your work and I think I can speak for everybody. We really do keep hoping that you keep getting it despite the stress. We hope you keep getting
I
funded.
used to have
And
hair.
keep getting it. Oh no, oh, don't worry. I'm there with you there. It used to be
I'm
a full
going.
line.
I
But
heard it well.
he does. But seriously though, thank you for taking the time. And before we essentially let you go with that, what's the best way for people to interact with you? What things are you working on? Best ways to, see your work and things like that. I mean, we have all the links below in the show notes if anybody watching is interested to support. Hint, hint. Just like
Or down below.
yeah, yeah. So sign yourself off, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. It's been great fun.
It's been awesome, man.
You can find me on probably the easiest way to find me is on Facebook with my Ice and Bone Blood and Fire Facebook group. I've
Got
got
I
Grey
joined
Man.
it today.
Hey, thank you very much. I've got the Grey Man as well, and ENENRA all have Facebook groups. So yeah, they're probably the best way to reach out. Any new creators, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, I can always try and give you my advice or what I've done, or just hang out. It'd be great.
Would you suggest comics, writing comics as a career for others?
I would
you
love to
like
do it full time again.
Yeah.
It's I can't see it very sustaining me for long periods, but it's a great hobby. I love doing it. I love creating, writing. I couldn't.
Well, you have a skill
keeps
for
me
it,
out of
man.
trouble. Thank you.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
You
Keeps me
got to
out of
get to
trouble.
the cons. Got to get to the cons.
That's the plan.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
Just make sure, along with the merch, bring plenty of printed books, and also with the ones where it's multiple books. Just make bundles. That seems to work pretty well as well. But we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Aaron. I urge you definitely, when your Kickstarter launches, reach out back to us. We have a very large horror community that we control as well. We'll post it on there.
Control them.
Puppets.
Along with our comic community as well. And for Aaron, all the links are in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Aaron.
Right. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much. Have a good one. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
all the way from Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen. Sounded like he was from Scotland, but he was in Kentucky.
Hi.
His stories were absolutely excellent, though.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree.
I just like how all I did was talk about horror, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, well, that just took most of that interview. I was just like, are you a horror fan? He was like, am I? Yeah. Let's pour the Bloody Marys and get nuts. I'm like, oh boy, he said get nuts. Don't let Radagast know. He said get nuts. What? Huh? All right.
Excelsior!